Big day yesterday for Indiana Chronic as they pull in a 5-star recruit, taking the incoming class to number 5 in the country, Malik Reneau from Montverde Academy, teammate of Jalen Hood-Schifino, 6'9", big boy, going to be joining the Hoosiers next year. And things are looking much better for fans, Indiana fans.
I can't help but think about that conversation we had right after the season ended. And as disappointing as the loss to St. Mary's was, trying to find a silver lining to it. And the way the Hoosiers closed out those last 8 days of the season. And those words continue to ring true. Just how critically important it was for Indiana to recapture some momentum heading into the offseason and get things on the right track, get some wins under their belt. And more than anything, put some film out there for future Hoosiers to look at and possibly see themselves playing for Indiana and Mike Woodson. And lo and behold, Woody, in very short order, has put together the best recruiting class in the Big Ten in his first full recruiting cycle here with the Hoosiers. So I don't know that you could really ask for a whole lot more. And it doesn't appear that he's done, to be totally honest. We've still got some visits on the books. Would not be surprised to see the Hoosiers add another shooter heading into next season and round out the roster here. So I don't think we're quite done yet, but even if we were, as things sit today, you got to feel good about Indiana's chances heading into the next season in basketball.
Well, if you don't think they're done yet, that means someone would have to leave. Trace Jackson Davis obviously comes to mind because he's got his name in the draft at the moment. But unless it's, if it's not him, it has to be someone else. But someone would have to leave for that to happen. We talked earlier about Dexter Dennis finishing up his visit today in Bloomington, and then Sean McNeil coming this weekend for Little 5. I don't know if they'll get him on a bike or not, Chronic, but what a weekend to bring somebody in. Even though he's a one-year guy, holy cow. I guarantee you, he sees that. You probably could not have brought Sean McNeil in on a better weekend, guys, because he's coming from West Virginia. That's a place where they burn couches in the streets. So the only thing that could probably come close to that is Little 5 weekend, Chronic.
I'll tell you what, I just saw on the IDS this morning, there's actually a Burning Couch Festival happening this weekend on East 17th Street. 2 houses, boatload of bands. And I'm claiming copyright infringement right here, right now. We started that festival 25 years ago this week. As a matter of fact, tonight is the 25th anniversary of my first date with my wife. Where we hosted.
Congratulations. That's so cool.
No, well, it was a Little 5 party, and she made the trip over from about an hour away, brought a date. I showed her 9 kegs, 4 bands, might have been a couple tanks of nitrous. And, we partied like Bloomington does on Little 5 week. And to this day, I never did find out how that poor son of a gun that she brought over found his way home, because she drove and he didn't go home with her. So, no, this is exactly when you want people on campus. Campus is blooming. Today, the sun finally decided to come back out. We're going to hit 80 degrees this weekend. It is the quintessential college town on the world's greatest college weekend. And, even in the run up to it last week, it was clearly enough for Malik Reneau to see himself being here for the remainder of his college career. Or the entirety of it, hopefully, I guess. But this is exactly what Bloomington does best. Exactly this time of the year, it shows kids just what an awesome place this town can be to come spend your college days.
Do you think Trace Jackson is staying or going? What's your opinion on
that? 2-1, he stays. 2-1, he stays. I think in order for Trace to make the leap, he's going to need a commitment from an NBA front office. That they want him in their system, that they see a place for him in the NBA and the organization. And, I'm not saying those teams don't exist. I'm not saying those opportunities aren't there. But I think it's a very, very narrow window for him to find the right spot, at least with the type of commitments that's going to make it worth leaving what he's got on the table here right now at Indiana. And
I agree.
What I mean by that is there's a lot of money waiting for him if he chooses to come back, which is very much a part of how this game is being played now. And there's a lot of opportunity for Trace to show himself to be a winner at a pretty high level. And after 3 years of slogging through Indiana's, search for its identity and its next coach and what this program is going to be going forward, he now finds himself in a position where, it's most likely to be actualized. All the promises, all the hope of what would become of his college career here in Bloomington, it's on the table for him now. He's got one of the best recruiting classes in the country coming in to play alongside of him. He has got a whole lot of talent to complement his game and maybe make things a little easier, make defenses play him a little more straight up. And I think it'd be a great opportunity for him to improve his draft stock and make some money, and maybe more than anybody wants to give credit for, make some memories that he's never going to have the opportunity for the rest of his life to enjoy. And it would be really hard to walk away from that opportunity, in my estimation, without a pretty airtight guarantee that there is a home for him for some time in the NBA. And quite frankly, I don't think that's as likely as it is not right now.
Kevin, no matter what, let's say Trayce Jackson-Davis stays, IU still needs a pure knockdown shooter, a Sean McNeil type from West Virginia, who the guy that we just talked about coming in to visit this weekend. They don't have room for him right now. And if Trayce Jackson-Davis stays, someone's going to have to move off of the scholarship line in some form or another.
Yeah, and you talk about making life easier. I think that's important to shooting. I think the chemistry with Xavier Johnson too, as well, kind of materialized at the end of the year with a lot of the alley-oops and so forth, and the kind of that two-man game that they were developing. And you got to see what's going to happen with Xavier's court case, obviously, and that situation, how that's all going to play out. But if Xavier comes back, and all indications are that he will, and that this will get resolved, another year, those two guys, being able to, play off each other and develop something, I think that's going to be critical as well. So I think just the overall guard play, making it easier for him, whether it's through outside shooting or penetration, drawing defenders to him the way Xavier does, will be key. And maybe even Hood Schifino as he develops also, because he's another guy that has excellent court vision and is an excellent passer, and is a guy that could create for Trayce as well. So there are a lot of compelling reasons for Trayce to stay. I still think, I think the workouts are going to be fascinating and important in May for him. I mean, he'll have until June to decide and how he performs in the workouts. I mean, if he could really knock him out in workouts, and I don't know if we've seen an NBA combine list yet, and if he's going to be invited, I would assume that he would be. Say if he does really well at the combine and raises his stock, you never know. But I do think that there's a lot more of a compelling argument for him to stay than for him to keep his name in the draft.